This is a wither, which by itself is not very scary, is it? This is 10 withers, which, okay, it's a bit concerning when you sort of group them up together. And this is 100 withers, which, oh boy. I gathered 2 of my friends. I called in sick to work and I set us a challenge. Can we kill 100 withers in 100 days of Minecraft? Oh, by the way, it's also in hardcore, which means if any one of us die, we have to restart from the beginning. And hey, just quickly, don't forget to sub and like, and who knows, if we get like 3k likes, we'll kill 100 dragons or something? I don't know. Anyway, let's go. Let's begin on day 1, and I will spend this time to tell you the plan. Now, for the 2 people in this world that don't know how to make a wither, you have to get 3 wither skulls from wither skeletons, which have a very low drop rate, and then get 4 soul sand, place them in this order, and would you look at that, you have yourself a wither. The plan was to get very strong armor and a looting diamond sword as quick as humanly possible. And so the 3 of us knew the plan and how to get moving. I was going to work on the food situation, Gray was going to work on the base situation, and also was going to see if we can get some nice early diamonds and iron. And so I ran around on day 1 getting the basics, murdering every animal in sight, and I even made a campfire for food. Ever since I learned you can put this on a campfire, that's all I do now. It was day 2 where I started making farms. I was on top of the mountain punching every single piece of grass, and then I saw it in the distance. A village. I went over to that village, found me some taters. Sadly no carrots. Or melons. Did have pumpkins though. Oh, great pumpkin pie or whatever. Also, watch this MLG. Though I did start the farm on day 2, it was day 3 where I started flattening out the land and I finished off the farms. We now had some taters and wheat farms set up, and then I finished the day by getting some sheep into some pens. Day 4, I carried on making the farms. I got some cows, some chickens into their own individual pen. Austin came back for the first time after 3 days with some iron armor. Now you'd think after all this time that Austin would have just a couple of pieces of iron spare for those, you know, get some armor or some shields.
I realized I was probably supposed to get iron for you guys.
Oh, did you not?
You know when Dan was like, hey, like, can you do the mining stuff in Minecraft?
So when I come down here and you've got literally only armor for yourself. MLG water. Nice.
Ooh, food, thank you guys.
Yeah, you're welcome. We actually pulled our end of the bargain. He gave us nothing. What has he been doing? Did however give me some melon seeds. Oh god, I'm gonna say that a lot this video, aren't I? The next day I went back up to the top and I made a melon! Oh, it's good. This is gonna suck. I then headed back to base, grabbed my bed, and headed out into the world as I was going to find the elusive carrot. I knew it could take days, weeks, months, years, dare I say, but I knew that as soon as oh, there's a village there. Oh, hey, carrots, nice. And by day 6, the carrot farm was finished. I'm not gonna lie, I was just waiting for the carrots to sort of grow. And, well, I was doing Duolingo. Also, MLG, nice! Since I had nothing better to do, I decided to have a sneak peek into the Nether. It was honestly a really bad spawn. However, exploring just a tiny little bit, I was able to find myself a fortress 150 blocks away. I don't know what it is about me and fortresses in Minecraft. I either find them really quickly or just don't find them at all. There's never just been oh, I found one after a short amount of time. The plan was if I could quickly get some nether wart, I could start growing it for the inevitable potions we'll need for the wither fights. And it was also this day that, despite the fact I had no enchantments whatsoever, I actually got our first skull. Just by chance. There's a very, very low chance of that happening. Just 299 to go. 299 to go. Whose idea was this? I got back on day 8 and I set up a nether farm. I also don't know why, but on this day in the notes, I wrote down, she was a skater boy. He said hoi manoi manoi, which I think is a reference to the doodle bob. I don't remember. All I know is much later when Gray finishes the house, he calls it the doodle bob house. Or the doodle bob, no. You know, there's a screenshot. I don't really know what was going on this time, but apparently that's something that was happening. And once that was done on day 9, I headed back to the Nether because it was time for me to get some levels. We had the enchant set up thanks to Austin's work, and we had some diamonds set up. And so the next task was for us to get the looting sword, because the sooner we get the looting sword, the sooner we can start killing the wither skeletons, and so we can start knocking down that 299 skulls. I finished mining quartz by day 10. I did have some fun with every ghast under the sun spraying me down. It was a good time in the Nether. But by the time I was done on day 10, I had 33 levels, which was 2 level 30 enchants. I got back home on day 11 and my enchants were just chef kiss, just The work pickaxe, an efficiency 4 and breaking 3 diamond pickaxe, and just, oh, look at that sword. Sharpness, unbreaking, fire aspect, looting. Oh! I'm sorry, I don't know what that was. And I finished the day off doing the most important thing in the world, going AFK. I think I was getting some crisps or something, I don't know. Now that we got the enchants, the good sword and pickaxe, the food ready, the next big task for us was to gear up our armor. Full iron is just not going to hack it, and so we went into the caves where I almost died straight away. Oh! It's fine.
You good, buddy?
I just fell very far. Could you imagine doing all the work for the first 10 days and then just instantly dying? That would not be funny at all. Okay, it'd be a little bit funny. And then I just caved for a while. I mean, you guys know how it goes by now. I got my 27th diamond by day 22. Now, here's an interesting fact for you. Between the 3 of us, we wanted to get full diamond each because at this point in time, we had a diamond pickaxe and a diamond sword each. Which means we needed 24 diamonds each, and for those who can't do the math, that's 72 diamonds. My 27 was really going to contribute towards that. Austin got Silk Touch on his level 30. He then went back, got a fortune-free diamond pickaxe, and the diamonds he mined was 75 diamonds in total.
Also, I have 75 diamonds.
What?
Yeah, I got 31 and then fortuned all of it.
So I've been wasting the past 8 days of my life. Which means all of the work that I did for the past 10 days was completely pointless. And that's not even talking about the extra diamonds that Graymond got. Just why could have started why? Full diamond was made on day 23 and we started to level 30 enchant our armor. Started being the keyword because I just didn't have that many levels. And after picking up the enchant setup, which included Silk Touch and those bookshelves, we headed into the Nether as it was about to begin. We got to the Nether Fortress and it was time for the grindiest grind of all the grinds and every grind that's ever grinded in the grind of the grinds. In other words, we grinded a little bit. We did actually have a quite clever idea because food was not going to be something we could just keep going back and forward to. And so we decided to set up a farm in the Nether. Now, because we were killing wither skeletons, we had an infinite supply of bones, and because I was able to make a carrot farm to start off with, by simply putting down a couple of carrots, bone meal in them, we had an infinite supply of food. It's only carrots, but it will do. We don't have to worry about it. That being said, at first we couldn't figure out why it wasn't working because there wasn't enough natural light, so I just put on the notes, day 26, Gray brings dur. We cannot farmers. Day 27, the 3 of us got our 3rd wither skull, and the actual plan at this point was to make a beacon. The idea was that if we could make a beacon as quick as possible in the Nether, it would just speed things up a little bit. And so heading back home on day 27 after a quick sleep, we found a nice little area that I will soon call Splosion Valley, and we killed our first wither. Listen, 1 versus 3 isn't that bad if Austin decided to bring a bow. And the first of 100 withers are now down. We then decided to split up a little bit. So whilst Gray and Austin were going to go into the overworld and just mine all of the iron, I was going to go back to the Nether to firstly clear out the roof of the Nether, because apparently, and I don't know if this is correct, so feel free to correct me if Austin is wrong. I don't know why I said if so many times. Well, basically he said that if there was any blocks above the beacon doesn't work. However, it will still go above bedrock. So as long as I clear out the surface above me up till the bedrock, then the beacon will work. This does surprise me, and I'm not sure how true that is, so I'm really hoping it's not true so we can all point and laugh at Austin. But, you know, you guys are smart at Minecraft, you know how this works. Point is, I cleared the roof off, and then I had a nice little plan set up. Basically, I was going to kill some withers, and as I slowly got my experience up, I was going to enchant all of my diamond armor. You know, the others that I wasn't able to enchant because I ran out of levels. This took a process of about 7 days in which I got 7 skulls and pretty much enchanted all of my gear. And during those 7 days, Austin and Gray was able to get enough iron blocks for us to create the full beacon. And that was completed on day 39. And, well, that was was the beacon made, it was the enchant gear set up, everything was good, and so it was time for the grindiest grind. Okay, I'm not gonna do that again, but we grinded, lads, we grinded. It was like the grindiest grind ever. It was insane. We just killed wither skeleton after 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 wither skeleton. Gray came back on day 52 to give me some mending books so I could put on my armor. I was kind of scared it was eventually going to break, so him giving me all the mending books really did help me here. So thanks for going back into the overworld, Gray, and getting some mending books and, you know, helping me keep my armor nice and strong. I also did it to my sword and my pickaxe as well, so, you know, really good stuff. Right, where was I? Oh, yeah. After wither skeleton, 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 after wither skeleton. After wither skeleton. And it started on day 39 when we went into the nether, the three of us, and started stabbing every single wither. And it was the 84th day, which for those who can't do the maths, is 45 days of grinding wither skeletons. Yeah, we didn't sleep in the nether. We had occasional going back and sleeping at that point, but for the most part, this wasn't a sleeping venture. So when I tell you that we barely slept, I have recordings. I actually stopped recording at points because there's no point in me showing myself killing wither skeleton after wither skeleton. But we did that for 45 days without sleeping, which 20 minutes per day and night cycle means we did between 11 and 15 hours of grinding wither skeletons. I don't think I need to say anymore. I think that just sums it up. The good news is we are done. And it's just, oh, it's amazing. It's great. Now we get to actually do the bulk, the challenge of the video, and kill 100 withers. So, back to the overworld we go to begin the grind of killing 100 withers. So the first thing I did when I got back on 85 was head to Splody Valley. I set up the beacon that I moved from the nether back to Splody Valley because having regeneration on at all times versus the wither is going to be such a helpful thing. After that was done, we started making the potions. We actually had kind of like an assembly line working where I would fill up the potions, pop them in. Austin would slap the nether wart in, and then Gray would slap in the whatever we wanted to do at that point, whether that be we want strength potions or health potions or pretty much all the potions we could possibly want. Unfortunately, we didn't have any regen. Despite the fact we spent all that time in the wither, we never got a single ghast tier. I don't even know how that happens. And it took us a couple of days, but here we are on day 89, where we had the pots made. I got some carrots, I was given some golden apples, and we headed to Splody Valley one more time to begin the 10-day long grind of killing 99 withers. Also on day 90, I thought this was quite funny, so Gray grabbed a bit of obsidian to try and cover the beacon and the beds. Unfortunately, he brought nowhere near enough, since so the bed is covered, which is quite nice, but the the beacon is just... the funny thing is that it worked. We never actually lost the beacon to any explosion, which I think is really funny. Anyway, let's start fight 1. How we initially started this was doing wither fights 5 at a time, so it would be a 3 versus 5. What we do is whoever got distracting the withers, the other two would shoot them down like madmen until the sword, and then everybody would hit it to death with their swords. We did this as a first 5 versus 1, which was slow, but it did do what we needed to do. And after that, we spawned 4 more withers, simply because we forgot to spawn the 5th. The idea was that if we could get 10 withers dead every single day from day 90 up until day 100, we should finish by day 99. It was a simple enough idea, and I mean, in theory, if we don't sleep 20 minutes to kill 10 withers shouldn't be that hard, especially if they're all spawned on each other. We actually was able to kill 11 more withers by day 91 by first doing a 6 versus 3 fight and then doing a 5 versus 3 fight. This also included a night fight. I will now spend this time showing the time where the withers were stuck on me and they pushed me away from the beacon. Okay, I'm trying to keep them away from the beacon. Okay, gentlemen, I really need you to, like...
I really need help with this single... Can you please help me?
You're a I cannot believe you two right now.
I just gotta eat.
So what happened was I had a couple of withers stuck on me, and the guys was trying to help me, but I kept being pushed away from the beacon, except they just wasn't doing enough damage, and so I had to run for the hills to avoid every beacon, and they were laughing at me, being like, what are you doing? Like it's my fault.
Oh my god, okay.
Dude, you're running so far away.
I can't do anything!
Why have you...
Help!
How is it to get... Jesus Christ.
You're literally on the other side of a ravine.
That I can stay near the beacons when I clearly can't stay near the beacons because I have multiple withers shooting me and they have shots that can't hit water if you fell out of a boat. I don't know what it... Austin's normally fine. What was happening? Like, look, they're not taking down. They just wasn't doing anything and I was out of potions. I was dying. Do something! So yeah, that went well. But then after that, we figured out there's probably a quicker way to do this. So we decided to give a slightly different approach to it. Instead of doing 5 versus 3 wither fights, what if we just did 1 versus 1 wither fights? So all 3 of us spawned our own individual wither, fought it, killed it, and then after healing, either help one of the others with their wither or spawn our own. By doing it this way, within 5 minutes, every single time we had at least 3 withers dead. And so in theory, we could technically kill 12 withers in a day and night cycle, or 6 in just a day. I did have to take a little break on day 94 though, because as much as I loved eating carrots, I was in the mood for some beef. And so I murdered every single cow on day 94. And the rest of the time was just spawn a wither, kill a wither, spawn a wither, kill a wither, spawn a wither, kill a wither. And by the end, day 100, the final fight. We actually could have done this faster. We could have done this, you know, before day 100, but it's kind of just cooler to finish off on day 100. And so, one more fight down the road.
Oh my god. No, this is such a bad idea. You know, I just let them hit me out. I think this is worth it. No!
I actually might die, and I'm only fighting 1, I'm not gonna
I'm
lie.
low on health, so I'm in a hole.
I am suffering! No, let me up.
I had to drink milk to survive, and now it's gone. I'm just running and regenerating and hoping for the best.
Jesus.
Home run, boys. Home run.
Wow, the
Let's go.
peak.
Aw, let's go! I contributed!
Hey.
One down!
One more!
I'm
gonna do my best to not make a joke about that.
And that was the final wither dead. Now, how we figured this out is in the statistics tab, you can actually see how many withers you have killed. And thanks to doing some nice little maths and also realizing that none of us had any more wither skulls, we figured it out. We killed 100 withers in 100 days. And, yeah, thanks for watching.